Hi, everybody. Welcome to English Digest. I'm Stephanie.
I'm Tom.
Hey, it's our health unit, and we're going to talk about getting healthier, but we're going to advise everyone to forget about dieting because, as most people know, diets usually fail. I've been on a constant diet, I think, since I was about maybe 22. Yeah, I used to be able to eat anything, and I would never get fat. I was really skinny growing up, which I hated too. And I did love eating everything I wanted. I could eat a dozen donuts and I still wouldn't gain any pounds. But as you get older, it's easier and easier to gain weight. And yeah, unfortunately, we do have to go on diets sometimes, but we're here to tell you that don't be surprised if your diet fails. Most people's diet most people who go on a diet fail at this, so you're not alone.
Yeah, I've been hearing this for many years. They're saying, yeah, most diets fail. They might work initially. You might lose some pounds, but of course you'll gain it back, and you probably might even get fatter in the future as a result. So basically, our article today is not about dieting. It's telling us to forget dieting, but try to live a healthy lifestyle. And I guess be content with the fact that as you get older, you're just going to get fatter, and there's not really much you can do about that. So be happy, live your life, and get used to people saying, hey, you've gained some pounds there. You're going to hear that throughout your life. You can't change that. But
you can change it. We're not saying it's impossible, but be realistic, okay? That's what we're going to say, Tom.
Sounds good. Okay, so let's find out what this is all about. It's our health unit for the month of March. Let's read the contents, and then we'll talk about it. With the new year a not-so-distant memory, many people are still working on their New Year's resolutions. One commonly adopted resolution is to lose weight. Unfortunately, not many people manage to accomplish this goal. That's because, according to research, 80% of diets fail. Even if weight is initially lost, it's all too easily put back on again, resulting in people feeling frustrated and ashamed. One reason for this is that dieting is often oversimplified. The assumption is often that in order to lose weight, the number of calories we burn must exceed the number we consume. While that is the general principle with dieting, there is much more to it. A long time ago, when food was much less abundant, body fat was actually a good thing. We needed it to survive during times of famine. This means your body is predisposed to want to gain weight. So when you diet, your body realizes it's not getting much food and concludes that there must be a famine. In an effort to counter the effects of starvation before they have a chance to take hold, your metabolism is slowed and your appetite is increased. This combination makes it hard to lose weight and makes it likely that you'll eventually gain any lost weight back. To make matters worse, dieting also increases your stress levels, which triggers the production of cortisol. One of cortisol's main jobs is to tell your body to store energy as fat. That all sounds a bit doom and gloom, doesn't it? However, according to Dr. Janet Tomiyama from the University of California, Los Angeles, being healthy doesn't mean being skinny. Her research has led her to recommend that people focus on reinforcing 4 key areas: stress management, good sleep, being active, and eating healthily. By complying with Tomiyama's concept, it's absolutely possible to be very healthy even without losing much weight.
Okay, guys, let's dig in and see what we can find out. Now, if you want to get healthier, forget dieting. That's the advice the title of our article is offering. So with the new year, a not-so-distant memory, meaning it just passed and we can still remember it, many people are still working on their New Year's resolutions. Every year, January 1st, people sit down and think about things they want to do that year, commitments they want to make. A resolution is a commitment. It's a firm decision to do something or not do something. It could be something you're trying to get rid of in your life. But you resolve, that's the verb form of resolution. You resolve to do something or keep that particular commitment. Most people typically have some sort of resolution about losing weight. Maybe you're a guy and you want to gain muscles, so you want to gain some muscle weight. Or maybe you just want to work out more. We know for a fact that most gyms around the world have a terrifically high increase of memberships at that start of the year. And then after 3 months, nobody goes to the gym again, or nobody goes to the gym anymore. They waste that gym membership, which is sad. So what is a resolution that you've made, Tom?
Well, of course, the resolution that most people make is to lose weight or be healthier or something like that. But last year, my resolution was to imagine that I would lose weight because I knew it was probably impossible to actually do that. So I imagined that I was 10 kilograms lighter.
Oh, nice.
And I actually fulfilled my New Year's resolution like the first minute of the new year.
Of course.
Because I imagined that I had lost 10 kilograms in weight. But I never, of course, lost that weight, but that was not my resolution. So, of course, I was a happy boy for the rest of the year.
Of course.
So, of course, lots of people make those New Year's resolutions, and they fail because one commonly adopted resolution is to lose weight. So here we've got the word adopt. And, of course, sometimes when you have an idea, you adopt that idea. Maybe your company adopts a new policy. You have to wear the company uniform instead of your own clothes, for example. They adopted a new policy. Or in this particular case, people adopt a resolution. They accept it, they come up with this idea, and then they start using this idea.
So if you adopt something, you just take it up, you start to use it, you follow it. It could be an idea, a method, a new policy your company has, or some course of action that you want to take. So a lot of people adopt that a resolution to lose weight. I like your resolution better, Tom. So unfortunately, not many people manage to accomplish this goal. Why? Because it's very difficult. It requires so much self-discipline. And sometimes, as I was saying to Tom before we started, sometimes I get home really late, and eating late at night isn't always good. You don't sleep very well either, guys, if you eat too late. But I'm hungry. I want to relax. And I end up eating bad food like fried chicken and fries. So, yeah, it's tough to stick to your resolutions, those goals. That's because, according to research, and they studied this, of course, 80% of diets fail. That means 20% don't. That's the good news. But 80% of diets fail. You have to be realistic. I've learned that I can't be too restrictive in my dieting, or I'll always fall off the wagon. If you fall off the wagon, you fail at something you're trying to do. Usually you're trying to quit doing something like smoking or gambling or drinking too much. In my case, I don't do those things, but I do diet. So if I fall off the wagon, I usually had a piece of chocolate cake or ice cream, but then you get back up and you go again. We also have the opposite phrase, to get back up on the horse, means you failed, but you're going to try again. Never give up.
Yeah, it's like a yo-yo going up and down all the time. And, of course, so we're talking about different diet plans. Like years ago, there was the Atkins diet or something like that. And then there was the South Bay diet or something like that?
South Beach.
South Beach, okay, that was one.
I bought that book for my mom.
Oh, you did? Okay. And that's a diet that you don't really hear about anymore. There's also low-carb diets or salt-free diets, etc. Keto, that's a very recent one. Fasting is also a kind of new diet.
Yep.
Intermittent fasting, I guess.
I do that, though. That is healthy.
Okay, so that's the current one you're using. And, of course, eventually when that fails, then you're going to have to try a different kind of diet.
I think I've tried them all.
Maybe next year or in 2 years, there'll be a new kind of diet that nobody is talking about now. And even if weight is initially lost, if you lose weight at the beginning, which does happen with a lot of diets, it's all too easy to put that weight back on again, resulting in people feeling frustrated and ashamed. So indeed, I have this experience as well. During certain stressful periods of life, I tend not to have an appetite. I'm just too worried about stuff. So then I lose a lot of weight. But then when everything's okay again and I'm not under stress, then the weight comes back. And a lot of times, of course, it not only comes back, but it also increases beyond the original amount. So yeah, that's why it's probably not a good idea to diet, or at least not to lose too much weight if you're dieting, because your body will punish you as a result later on.
Yeah, I'm kind of the opposite. If I'm happy, I don't eat. And if I'm frustrated, I eat more. So frustration, or if you're frustrated, this is an adjective. You're feeling distressed, annoyed, maybe because you have an inability to change something or achieve something that you want. Or maybe someone's making you frustrated by not finishing the work that you assigned them to do. Now, if you're ashamed, usually feel kind of embarrassed. Maybe you've done something dumb and other people find out. Or maybe you're feeling guilty because of something you did, or maybe some sort of personality trait that you have that you don't like. So these are two of our vocabulary words. So when these people who are yo-yo dieting, Tom mentioned you can yo-yo, go back and forth, they end up feeling frustrated and ashamed many times.
Yeah, frustrated, you can't get what you want. It's just so frustrating, and you're ashamed. You don't want to tell other people because you will be embarrassed as a result. And one reason for this is that dieting is often oversimplified. So this is a reason for why diets fail and why you put that weight back on again, and why you feel frustrated and why you feel ashamed. Well, it's all because dieting is oversimplified. Of course, we'd like to have a diet be simple because we're busy with life. We're going to school, we're going to work and stuff like that. So we don't really want to think too much about dieting. We just want to eat the right foods and hopefully lose the weight and not worry about it too much. But unfortunately, dieting is kind of complicated, and most people oversimplify it. They make it more simple than it really is.
Now, the assumption or thing that people often believe is true, it's often that in order to lose weight, you just need to reduce the number of calories you eat, as opposed to the calories you burn each day that your body consumes as it's moving around and doing its thing. Now, if you consume something, you take it into your body. We also use consume to talk about using something like gasoline or oil. We consume it. We use it until it's gone. But here, for people, we actually consume food. We eat, drink, take food into our body. We ingest it. Now, that's a general principle that you need to eat fewer calories than you burn, but it's not really that simple. We're discovering that sometimes your body likes particular types of food better, and it burns calories faster based on the type of food you're eating. So it's not just number of calories. That's not true. That's oversimplified. We're going to continue talking about this, guys, but first, we're going to take a quick break and listen to our Chinese teacher.
听众朋友大家好，我是安娜。我们今天要带大家看看这个健康单元的，如果你真的想要减重的话，试着变健康一些。我们为什么减肥常会失败呢？明明减下来几公斤，为什么又会胖回去呢？其实节食对人有很大的影响。今天这个文章真的是很新颖的观点。我们在看之前，先看一下框框有哪一些选项，因为我们今天这个文章设计成文艺选填的这样的大题。好，我们先看一下框框里面特别是针对像 C 跟 G 的部分，其实它是两个动词片语。那么 C 指的是导致什么样的结果， G 的 comply with 现在看的是动词 ing， 有可能是一件事情，或者是当所谓的现在分词搭配 be 动词来使用。好，那么 comply with 其实就是遵守什么样规定的意思。再来还特别要注意一下一选项的 counter 在这里不是柜台哦，在这里也有可能是另外一个当动词，就是所谓克服什么困难的意思。 好，那我们就来看一下减重为什么常会失败呢？其实根据研究啊，80%的节食，如果我们少吃一点，这个不吃或控制总热量等等，其实根据研究，超过80%节食都是失败的。为什么会这样子呢？就是一开始体重还是减轻，可是大家有没有发现，节食之后还是会复胖？好，我们来看一下，在第一段的第5句的地方，就特别提到这样子的概念。那这样子的概念，我们看一下句子第2个逗点之后的 resulting in， 它这里是一个关系子句的简化。resulting 本来应该是 which results， 而 which 指的是逗点前面的这个句子，就是很容易复胖这件事情。好，那很容易复胖，所以跟人家说要减肥，然后后来又胖回来，大家就觉得很挫败啦，会有点丢脸啦，很羞愧。但是其实呢，这样子的原因之一是节食这个概念其实有一点过度简化了。怎么说啊？我们在第一段的第6句提到了这个 oversimplified， 被过度简化，这样子的一个概念是什么？因为第7句的文意接下来，其实减肥或者所谓的假设，我们都会觉得要减肥，那我就少吃一点，我们要控制这个总热量。所以后面第7格这边我们看到的第4题答案应该是 I assumption。因为我们对于减重的一个前提，这个假设通常都是说，为了要减重，我们燃烧的卡路里要超过我们所摄取的卡路里。可是因为第6句告诉我们，其实我们这个概念是过度简化，节食大致上的原则其实远远超过于这样的说法哦。
We're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, everybody. We're continuing with our lesson, and the question is, hey, do you want to get healthier? Well, the answer is, if you want to get healthier, then forget dieting. And we talk mostly in the first part of our lesson about the fact that diets pretty much don't work. 80% of all diets fail. If you do lose the weight initially, well, it will come back later. You'll be frustrated. You'll be ashamed. And one reason for this is that dieting is often oversimplified, and people think that, hey, all you have to do is count calories. The number of calories you consume should be burned off with exercise and stuff like that. So that supposedly is a mathematical formula, but this is the general principle, but there is much more to it than that. As you said, we have to keep other things in consideration, the type of food we're eating. Are we eating protein or carbohydrates or fiber and stuff like that? So yeah, it's pretty complicated.
Now, we're going to go back in time. We're going to look back in history, and it says here in paragraph 2, a long time ago, when food was much less abundant, we didn't have as much of it today, as much of it then as we do today. We're surrounded by food now. Body fat was considered a good thing. It was a great thing, and if you were fat, that meant you were rich, because you had plenty of money and to buy the food that you wanted. So we needed it to survive during times of famine. Famine means a period of time where there's not enough food for people, and they're literally people starving to death because there's not enough food. It might be because of a drought, not having enough rain in that particular area. But we had times of famine in the olden days. So this means your body is predisposed to want to gain weight. It loves to gain weight. It's very happy to hold on to that weight. It doesn't want to let go of it very easily, I've noticed. If you're predisposed to do something, it just means you're likely to do that. There's something in your DNA or your background, maybe your history with your family. You're maybe predisposed to like more sugar than other people, or predisposed to gamble. We'll often use that phrase to talk about people who have that in their genes, especially their DNA.
Exactly. So yes, your body is predisposed or kind of Pre-programmed, that's the default setting with your body. You want to gain weight, okay? So, of course, in the ancient times, thousands of years ago, of course, there were droughts, there were famines, so people had to store fat in their bodies in order to survive. Like here in Taiwan, last year, I think there was a drought for a number of months.
Yeah.
But nobody really lost weight during that time. Of course, we have food stored up in various places, so if there is a drought or if we're not producing enough food,
we'll be okay.
We still seem to be okay, but that was not the case thousands of years ago.
No.
So when you diet, your body realizes it's not getting much food and concludes there must be a famine. So this is going on in your body with your hormones and stuff like that. So if you starve yourself, then the body says, uh-oh, this is a famine. So the body starts doing things to react to that.
Yeah, it tries to hold on to every bit of fat it can. Yeah, so you don't want to starve yourself. So when you're on a diet, try not to just quit eating entirely. I've seen a lot of girls especially just stop eating. That's not good for you either. Intermittent fasting is where you don't eat for a number of hours and then you have a window of eating. And that is good for you because your body has a chance to rest. If we're always eating 24/7, your body's constantly working, and it gets tired. That's the truth of that. So in order to counter or to balance out the effects of starvation, of course, is when people starve to death, they don't have enough to eat. Before they have a chance to take hold, your metabolism will see that it's not getting enough food and it slows itself down and your appetite is increased. So it really doesn't help you to go on the starvation diet. That's what we call it too, starvation diet. This combination makes it hard to lose weight and it's more likely you're going to gain back any weight lost. So you kind of just, toss out all the good effort and the hard work that you put in. It's really depressing.
Yep, so if you try to starve yourself, of course, your metabolism slows down. That, of course, is 新陈代谢 in Chinese. So your metabolism goes down and your appetite goes up. And, of course, that makes you hungry all the time. So it's difficult to lose weight. And you'll probably gain weight again after you lost it. And to make matters worse, or even worse, dieting also increases your stress levels, which triggers the production of cortisol. So if you are dieting, of course, you're going to be under more stress. And of course, when you're stressful, your body needs, or when you're under stress rather, or when you have stressful situations, your body will produce a hormone, which is cortisol. And one of cortisol's main jobs is to tell your body to store energy as fat. So it makes you fatter as a result. So it seems like you can't win in this situation.
Sure does. Now, trigger here is a verb we use. It just means something that makes another action occur. So it's something that causes an event or a situation to occur, to happen, or to start at that point, a trigger. There's a trigger on a gun. You have to pull the trigger before the gun will shoot the bullet. That's an example of a trigger. But if something can trigger your appetite, maybe a really appetizing smell, maybe going past the night market triggers your appetite, makes you want to buy that naughty food. Moving on, it says this all sounds a bit doom and gloom or depressing. But, however, it says, according to Dr. Janet Tomiyama from the University of California in Los Angeles, being healthy doesn't mean being skinny. That's so true. Some skinny people are very unhealthy.
And her research has led her to recommend that people focus on reinforcing 4 key areas.
Good.
This is her recommendation. You need to reinforce these key areas. To reinforce just means to make something stronger. I guess I remember in the early days of the MRT, there were some problems with the brown line. So they reinforced I guess those are called pylons or whatever. They reinforced those and there were no problems after that. So these are the 4 areas you need to stress or to reinforce. Stress management. Don't be under so much stress. Get some good sleep.
Yeah.
Be active. Exercise a lot and eat healthily. Have a good diet. Lots of vegetables and fruit and not so much sugar stuff.
Good advice. All these things are really important. By complying or going along with Tomiyama's concept or her idea, concept is just an idea that you have, it's absolutely possible to be very healthy even without losing much weight. I have a sister that is overweight, I think, but she actually is pretty healthy because she exercises all the time and she eats pretty good food. When I was at my skinniest, I was eating too much fast food, so I can't say I was very healthy when I was
you're kind of
skinny.
a junk food junkie.
I used to be,
you?
yeah.
Yeah, you like that sweet stuff and that greasy stuff.
No, I like salty stuff.
Salty stuff, okay, indeed.
Yeah.
But that can be a problem. So get a habit, make it a habit and eat healthily. And by complying with Tomiyama's concept, by following her advice, it's absolutely possible to be very healthy even without losing much weight. So I think her emphasis here is don't worry so much about the weight. That's pretty hard to lose. Try to focus instead on being healthy. If you are a few pounds overweight or maybe even 10 pounds overweight, it's okay, just as long as you're exercising and you don't have so much stress, and you should be able to live a really long time.
True. Right now, we're going to listen one more time to our Chinese teacher.
因为其实在很久以前，当食物并没有那么富足的时候，体脂肪是一个好东西。如果身体发现可能会有饥荒的时候，它就会增加一些体脂肪，这样子我们才能撑得过去。那这样子的一个概念就是说，其实我们的体脂肪是为了要去影响，为了要去对抗饥饿的影响，在饥饿发生之前，我们要对抗它，所以我们的新陈代谢就会减缓，食欲就会增加。在第二段第5行这边就讲到这个概念，如果我们节食少吃的话，第5句在第6题，我们看到的是 counter the effects of starvation， 我们就必须要克服饥饿所带来的一个结果，所以 metabolism也就是所谓的新陈代谢就减缓，然后我们的食欲就增加。那这样会怎么样呢？如果你的新陈代谢减缓，食欲又增加，那我们就很难减重啊，因为又很想吃，然后呢尽量少吃，但是还是不会瘦下来。所以第二段的第6句其实很重要，因为在这里的动词make， 它是 make 加受词加受词补语，也就是不完全及物动词的用法。我们先看一下第一个 make。Makes it hard， 这里受词的 it 是一个虚受词，使得这件事情很困难。什么事情？它的概念跟真主词一样，虚受词的真受词应该是 to do something 或者是 that 的子句，所以真受词在后面。那这两种的结合，也就是食欲很好，然后呢新陈代谢又减缓，就会变得使 to lose weight 减肥这件事情很困难。那么后面第二个 makes 也是一样这样的用法，有一个虚受词 it， 而后面形容词的 likely 是 possible 的意思，使这件事情很有可能哦。什么事情？就是你的体重还是会恢复成原来的样子。那更糟糕的就是说，节食会提高压力指数啦，就会引发皮质醇啦，然后皮质醇就是会让身体它会增加脂肪。好，所以我们在同样第2段第7句的这个地方，有没有看到一个 which？ 逗点之后的 which 其实指的是前面这整句话，也就是节食增加压力这件事情，它就会引发整个皮质醇的一个增加。好，所以听起来好像我们大家都没有办法减肥了吗？没有诶，其实有专家这么说，其实只要管理好你的压力，有良好的睡眠，积极的运动，健康的饮食，基本上不要太 care 你的体重，健康比较重要。以上是我们今天的内容，我是安娜，我们下次见。
That's it for today, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. And indeed, don't worry so much about losing weight in the new year, but try to be healthy because we want you to be around for a very long, long time. From all of us here at English Digest, my name is Tom.
And I'm Stephanie.
Goodbye.
See you guys.